Hey YouTube, what the F universe, besides my irritation that it's still not called yet, let's talk about rising signs and my confusion with them. Because in the very beginning, when you find out, of course, about your sun, your moon, retrogrades, and everything else, you're like, okay, cool. Then you pull up your chart and you see the lovely circles and you're like, hey, this is something that I could piece all the little pieces for, and that's why it'll make way more sense. I just need all the pieces to my puzzle and then it will like fall into place. And that seemed to be pretty true overall, at least giving me a different light or window into who I am as a person and possible things that might work a little better for me. Or certain things I maybe should lean into more and certain things that I should definitely work on because I'm a little prone to them. Like, that's working overall as a whole, right? But there is something else that I didn't think about at all, and that is a rising sign and talking about that in depth and all that. So first things first, let's get to the Googles, shall we? So first you might think like, well, my sun sign is my rising sign, isn't it? Like the sun's there, sun rose in that position, it would make sense, right? No, not at all. Not the case in any way, shape, or form. So this I'm reading from Astro Style, Horoscopes by the Astro Twins, because this seemed to be to make the most sense to me when I was like, okay, yeah, no, that. And your rising sign is also called your ascendant. It is the sign that was rising over the eastern horizon when you were born. It can affect your appearance, your attitude, and the way you come across to others. For example, a conservative Capricorn with a Leo rising can appear to have some Leo-like features. He or she may have wild hair, an outgoing personality, and a more expressive style than the average Capricorn. If people always peg you for a sign other than your own, don't be surprised to discover that it's actually your rising sign. How do you find your rising sign? The rising sign changes every 2 hours, so you need to know your time of birth to get an accurate answer. Very interesting. And some people say, when you're talking about like balance and how much like earth and water and all that is in your chart, specifically people talk about if you have a bunch of like one element in your earth, your moon, and your rising, that's really gonna like cement kind of who you are as a person and really like cause either some imbalance or some real like structure to you. And so I have a air sign, Gemini, moon is in Capricorn, and my rising sign is in Cancer. Hi, Mr. Crab. And I think this at first kind of bothered me because when I really looked into Cancer signs, the idea of, you know, they do have that like super emotional sense. They have a little bit of that cold structure around them. Someone described, I believe it was my astro teacher, who said that Cancers are definitely the creme brulee of the signs because they're crunchy on the outside and then really soft and gushy on the inside if you crack past their layer, like that type of deal. And I was kind of like, well, I'm not really like that, I don't think. Like I feel like I'm pretty much who I am. And if the sun sign is who I am, kind of when I'm happiest or when things are exploding, like I look at the Cancers and I'm like, that doesn't seem to be it. But the idea of who I am to others upon immediate inspection, that might make a little more sense. Because who I am when I'm happiest is definitely who I am when I am most comfortable. And when I meet other people, I'm not necessarily most comfortable. I am a little more of the introvert in that sense. I definitely do withdraw a bit. I take a minute to warm up and get used to people unless I am a certain, you know, there's certain parameters that have to be in place for me to really open up. And I definitely have the certain like stranger happy face. And then like as I ease up a little bit, I'm either a little less bubbly if it's not a work situation anymore. I'll like calm down and relax, or I like suddenly get a lot more bubbly if it's more of a social situation, because I don't know, like those two it's weird how that works, right? So I could see that a bit, a very much of the hard exterior. I have sort of a very there is a shell to my crab, right? And then once you get onto the insides, that's when you kind of get to know me better. You'll find the Gemini and the Capricorn moon hanging out, having some weird back and forths all the time. And that, like, it's specifically how I am with strangers or people that I don't feel have any right to get past kind of the wall of who I am exactly. Like, right? It's like we all have a little barrier around ourselves. Cancer signs really, that lays into a lot of who I am with strangers. So I would encourage you to look at that. Is there a very specific thing that you do you're like, that's not normally, interesting. Like, I am not as chatty at all when you first meet me. I can be very like I'm very kind of like calculating what I'm saying. Not Gemini-esque at all. I also am not as like, this is what we're doing, structure needed in those moments either. I am much more free-flowing while also kind of being like, am I gonna have to take charge here? Like, I'm a little more nervous in that sense, right? And again, just with strangers, just with people I have never met before, or in certain situations where it is a bit of an unease, that is definitely what pops up for me. And when I look at those Cancer signs, those align a lot more with that stranger thing. Just look into that for yourself. Do you feel that aligns better with you? Or do you feel that, no, my Cancer's, not your Cancer, my rising sign is actually a lot more of who I am as a person. Maybe you're just more comfortable when you were around others more. Maybe that's what it is exemplified, right? Some people I have even heard say that your rising is who you are aspiring to be, like who your next evolution will be, like who you should be aspiring, those characteristics you should reach for, like those positive ones should be embodied more in you. And I don't really agree with that so much, just because when I think about those characteristics of a Cancer and those positive and negative, they seem to almost rub me slightly wrong at some times. Like, I can see where they're reflected in me and I can address them, but it's not where I'm comfy. It's not where I am like, yes, I'm at home in a blanket with my cup and everything is all good to go. Instead, it is much more of it is a bit of a facade that I put on to assess a situation and see where things need to go or not go. I don't think it's something that I'm like, I can see where the positives are. I can definitely see where when I'm dealing with strangers, maybe kowtowing on the negatives of that, you know, trying not to be oversensitive to people on first meeting. You know, if someone like hits a crack a little wrong, if I'm unexpected in any critique when I first meet you, you know, maybe try not to always take it as personally, because that definitely happens from time to time with myself. There's certain things like that I can definitely pick up and take on, but I don't really feel like it should apply overall to who I am. Definitely more with the stranger interactions, so I could apply that a bit here or there. So comment down below, what's your rising sign? Does it apply to you? Are you like, what the hell, this makes no sense? Or are you one of those people who's like, well, yeah, I'm a Capricorn sun and a Capricorn rising and all of the things, and yeah. Anyway, I will see y'all next time, because this is Utober. So tomorrow.